Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing the Lange Sohne 1815 annual calendar, 40 millimeters in rose gold. This model came out at SIHH in 2017. So the watch is 40 millimeters in diameter, 10.4 millimeters thick, 46.9 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, and has a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now you can see on my wrist, the watch is a full-sized, though not oversized, modern dress watch. It is particularly thin, and with a sloped domed bezel, it easily slides underneath the cuff. And you could see from lug to lug, it's nowhere near the edge of my wrist. So though it is a 40 millimeter watch, I could still recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. The strap is almost a burgundy in color. It's a combination of brown and red with a matte finish, large rectangular scale alligator cut. We have a monotone stitch, we have a folded edge, a little bit of bolstering to add thickness and volume, and then you can see calfskin on the bottom, and this is a very fresh Lange Sohne factory strap. Taking a look at the buckle, you guys have heard this spiel from me in the past if you've seen my videos, but if you're new to my Lange reviews, you may be seeing this buckle for the first time, so you can see its aesthetic qualities, but it also has some clever design elements that make the watch more wearable. We start with this elevated bridge, elevated over the prongs on the side, and you can see that the strap sits inside the buckle rather than stacking up underneath. That's because the bridge is elevated. There's also this little bar, so if you're like me and you have a small wrist, you're going to use the smallest hole or maybe even punch a smaller hole. Well, a tightly strapped watch can be difficult to extricate. It can get pinned on the pin, so to speak. So this little retaining bar prevents the strap from sliding down to the point where it now becomes difficult to remove if it's strapped tightly. They think of everything in glasuta. Taking a quick look, you can see that the watch includes a remarkable amount of its original packaging plastic. So this watch was never really enjoyed by the previous owner. Lugs are shielded, the case band is mostly covered, the bezel is capped, and then on the case back, you can see there's even a little bit of protective plastic on the reverse side. So this is a watch that is pretty much in as good a shape as you can ever hope for some sort of pre-owned timepiece. This is almost like taking delivery of the watch new from Lange. The case is rose gold. It was also available in white gold. This gives you a nice contrast between the satin white of the dial and the rose gold of the case. Now, the dial is made of sterling silver, which is a precious metal in its own right. It's then cut for the sub-registers and the center dial and galvanized this silver white color. It also includes a number of other elements, such as the railroad track outboard for reading the minutes and then the fired blue steel alpha style hands at center. It is an annual calendar, which means you only need to reset it once a year during the jump from February to March, once annually. If you should fall behind a few days, you use the little pusher adjuster up at 2 o'clock and everything, the day, the date, the month, even the moon phase steps forward. Lange moon phase discs are made of solid gold, and that's exactly what we have right here. The watch also includes a moon phase that has an adjustment interval of once every 122 years. So you need to adjust the calendar once per year. The moon phase could actually be set and forget for 122 years. You can see the lugs are broken out from the case band, the bezel's polished, the case back's polished, the mid case is all set and finished. And if you don't want to move everything in sync, let's say you fall 3 days behind, you just press 3 times and you catch up. But if for whatever reason you want to set the indication separately, there are pusher adjusters that allow you to do so. Now, turning the watch over, you can see this is the manual wind caliber L051 version 3. It's a manual wind with a 3-day power reserve. It's adjusted in 5 positions, which is the high horology and chronometer standard. It pivots on 26 joules. It beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It is an annual calendar. It is a moon phase. It does have stop seconds, and all of this is protected down to 30 meters. Now, taking a quick look, you can see we have a black polished swan's neck fine adjustment mechanism. We have various black polished elements, such as the click and click spring, the case clamp screws, the cover to the escape wheel, and then the center to the crown wheel adjacent to the ratchet wheel. You can see there's solarization on the ratchet wheel. We have mirror beveling on the edge of all the bridges. We have freehand engraving on the balance cock. We have both polished and fired blued screws. The watch gives you both. We have engine turning on the base plate. We have glasuta stripes across the bridges. The bridges are 3/4 style with golden chaton fixed by screws holding the pivot jewels. The 3/4 bridge and the chaton a nod to pocket watchmaking. So is the material itself, German silver, a gold-hued nickel copper zinc alloy. And the copper gives it that golden hue. It is a beautifully hand-finished watch and a wonderful way to get into the world of Lange and complex calendars. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.